on it, dog on it. Your girls, baby, your companies are on it. You can't help.
Welcome to the back to the Mountain Morning Show, and I am joined by the Park City Toastmasters. Hello.
Hello.
So first of all, right next to me we have Club President Kathy Barker, and next to her Nancy Anderson and Fred Rubenfeld. Welcome to the show, guys. I'm so happy to have you here. I hope you're here to work on my speech.
Well, we didn't hear any ahs and ums, so you're doing well that way.
Well, thank you. I say and quite a little bit. We could work on that one. That
Yes.
seems to be mine. You know, Chelsea and I both have our little, tics like that too, and we've challenged ourselves this year to try to work on those. We're actually deciding, like, I don't know how many times, but if we say it 3 times, I believe it is, 3 strikes, then we have to bring donuts or some other treat or something. Yeah. Probably should do something more healthy, I don't know. But it is kind of funny, people do have those, and certainly that is one of the many things that Toastmasters does, try to improve people's ability to speak in public.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit more about the mission of Toastmasters.
The mission of Toastmasters is it's twofold. There's a leadership track which helps people to learn how to be leaders, how to run a meeting, how to stick with an agenda and keep on time.
Well,
and
that's a nice thing to have.
It is very important. Think about going over at the Republican National Convention of Clint Eastwood, 7
wow.
minutes.
Yeah.
And what a brouhaha that was.
Exactly.
And I thought it must be 20 minutes, but it was such a short time.
It seemed like it went on forever, doesn't
Yes.
it?
And then the secondary thing is to teach us how to be better speakers, how to learn an opening, a middle, a conclusion, how to use your body, how to use pitch and variety. So it's very intensive training.
That is really cool. Mm-hmm. So obviously that's a big part of it for you guys. How did you get involved? Where are you headed with it? What do you intend to get out of it? And
well,
especially as the president, I kind
yes,
of wonder about that.
As the president of the club, I've been in the club since June of 2010. And my goal is to become a distinguished Toastmaster within the group. It takes 5 to 6 years or more, depending on your strength of goals.
Very cool.
And I love it. I'm in the Park City Toastmasters for life, because also you not only meet people, but you hear their stories, you hear their speeches, you learn to love them and see their foibles and things. And I would never have met all of these wonderful people if I was still in bed at 7 in the morning on Tuesday mornings.
That's right. We talked about that this morning, about what it's like to get up early and to get to the business of business, so to speak. I'm kind of curious, coming from your perspective, what we mentioned. You're more of a morning person, not much of a night person, right?
That's right. Yeah, I don't mind the 7 a.m. Yeah, so I don't have a problem with it. Though Kathy is like crazy insane, like she's on caffeine even though she doesn't drink coffee in the morning. So she's a little bright.
That doesn't surprise me entirely.
Yeah.
And you've been in the club how long?
I just joined, so I've only been in the club for 4 months, so I'm a newbie.
How many speeches so far?
So I'm actually going to do my 3rd speech on Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah, but I just competed in the contest for the table topics.
That's right, and you did well.
Surprisingly, yes. Yeah, so I took 2nd place, and then the 1st place winner isn't able to go to the contest, so I get to go represent.
You get to go.
I get to represent. Yeah,
that is really terrific. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I also want to talk comedy, of course. That is an important part of speaking in public, and Mr. Rubenfeld, you have done very well in that area, haven't you?
When I first joined Toastmasters, I showed up at the humor contest, and my cheeks hurt for the rest of the day. And 3 years later now, I won a humor contest. And so I'm just enamored with what's developed in my 3 years. Because I was a teacher for 30 years in Vermont. And I always was able to get up in front of kids and talk. But when it came to adults, it was a whole different ballgame. And all the things that I thought I knew, Toastmasters has really re-taught me that about stammering, about gesturing, about memorization, about being nervous, about gestures. And so it's been great. I've just learned a lot. And as Kathy said, every day you go there, you learn about some new story and go, wow, that was amazing. I had no idea this little milquetoast person was like, a rocket scientist or something. So it's
living a life that you don't know about.
And you usually come out pretty much with a smile on your face.
I have to ask you, as you look back at your teaching days, and you're not teaching any longer, right? You're retired?
I'm a snowboard instructor at the Canyon still.
Okay, so it does do something.
Yeah.
You must take some practical experience from this to that mountain then. And I guess my question is, when you look back, do you wish you'd had this then when you were teaching young people?
They should give a Toastmasters course to every teacher, it seems.
That's what I would
because the
think,
public
yeah.
speaking, how to keep people's attention, how to, know when to raise and lower your voice, be quiet. It takes years of practice and teaching to get that. But if there was a Toastmasters course for teachers, there'd be you'd get to that point pretty much at a higher level, easier.
That's awesome.
And I'm sure a lot of kids would appreciate that of their teachers,
Right.
that they speak well.
More engaging.
Exactly.
Certainly.
Exactly.
And I'm sure the sense of humor never hurt. I bet you had that all along. How do you teach kids with a sense of humor? Right?
Well, of course, a morning person. I had middle schoolers, high schoolers that at 8 in the morning they would just be, and I'd be
sure.
jumping up and down and all over the place. But you eventually get them.
So many teachers stand out as being great speakers. I remember a Mr. Franson who taught at Union Middle School in Sandy, and he used to walk around with those pointer sticks, and he'd spin that and put it under his arm. He'd walk around like Patton,
Yeah.
and speak on history, and it was fascinating. And that's why I remember his name, let alone what I learned there. It's such a powerful way that he talks.
And just what you just said about cruising the room,
Right.
and getting people's attention, so you're not just in the front and you could really walk around. It's just one of those things that we might take for granted and we don't know about, and it's just a quick hint to do.
Well, that brings us to another topic. Let's talk about the challenges you've each faced. Fred, what would you say is yours?
I'd say memorization. I usually always spoke off the cuff and didn't have to memorize anything. And then my first probably 5 or 6 speeches, I had that paper in front of me.
I would have to too.
And then after a while, I really had to work on putting it away and being able to speak fluently with just the idea in mind and not the paper, not the exact words, but just
Right.
the ideas.
Well, we see that even with our president. He's asked to have a teleprompter at every single speech he's given, which has been kind of interesting, I think.
And I would like to note that Fred is our contestant for the humorous contest
right.
for our club that both he and Nancy will be competing on September 21st at our area contest, which is the next contest above the club level.
And people can come to that and get an idea of what this is all about, can't
yes, they can. It will be at Shriners Hospital in Salt Lake City because our area encompasses more than just Park City. But anybody is welcome to come to our meetings also at 7 a.m. on Tuesday mornings and just check us out for a month and see if it's something that fits.
It seems so fitting to have it at Shriners Hospital because when you think of Toastmasters, there's that idea, the toasting. And I always think of like Elks Club, Toastmasters, the folks you mentioned there. I just think of all those types of organizations, the fraternities and sororities that you would expect someone to give a toast or a speech.
Yes.
Kind of an interesting, look back or sort of a throwback with the name. Tell me about your challenges. I'm kind of curious.
I would say sort of the opposite of Fred in that I think over-preparing. So it's like the Boy Scout motto of be prepared is really important, but if
Sure.
you memorize everything, I think it causes nervousness.
Right.
And so that's one of the reasons
Does
I
it seem
signed
too
up.
natural? You get a little stilted and start having a more difficult time.
Yeah,
I saw Nancy had cards today. She brought cards and
Really?
she was ready to speak. Yes.
Okay, over-prepare. I over-prepare. Well, that's why I did the table topics speech
Sure.
because what happens is they just give you a topic and then you have to immediately stand up and speak for a minute to 2 minutes on the topic.
I love that one.
So it's a big challenge for me, and I think it's really helped me to know that I can, just talk on my feet and that to trust myself. So that's been the biggest challenge, and we'll see how we do on the 21st.
I wish we had more time so that I could ask you to do one right now. That would be a lot of fun. In fact, I'd like to do it too with you guys. It would be a tremendous experience. Tell me words of advice you have to people who are looking to, that are interested, that are looking to what this might add to their career, to their life. What would you say about that?
I feel that our group the Park City Toastmasters is such a safe place to come and give a speech for the first time, for the second time, for the 10th time. You're in a supportive environment. You're not having critiques in the sense of a negativity. You're
Right.
being encouraged. We have mentorship. It's a wonderful place if you have butterflies in your stomach to help those butterflies fly in formation. You will get
Love that.
you will get books and helps. It's not like you go in there and say, all right, here's your first speech. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about, and use your body and do this. It's a very comprehensive program through Toastmasters International where you have books that give you the speech idea and what you need to work on for this specific speech. There's 10 foundational speeches, and then after that there's advanced books. So if you're nervous, if you want support, you will get that at the Park City Toastmasters, and you'll also be inspired because there is just a huge amount of differences in the people that are there. Just as our Park City people are varied, just the Toastmasters are varied. So you see older people, younger people,
Right.
people who are entrepreneurs, people who are ski instructors, a whole huge array, and it's a very safe
cool.
place.
You know, in finality, as we were running out of time, I have to say I watched from the outside as many of my friends at the Air Force participated in one together, and the ability to speak was so markedly improved. I was so impressed that I encourage everyone that's watching, if they're interested at all in being better speakers and taking that to so many other aspects of your life, do it. It's something you won't regret. If they want to, where do they go to be involved?
It's at the Sheldon Richin building in the auditorium near the library
Okay.
in Kimball Junction. It's 7 a.m. on Tuesday mornings. It goes till about 8:15. And within that, we do have a structure. There's 3 speeches. Those speeches are evaluated. We do a table topics. It's just a lot of fun. It just really
great.
gets your juices flowing without having coffee.
That is terrific. Guys, thank you so much for coming here and sharing with me and not being afraid to try it on television this time. It's a little different, isn't it? It's a little different. All right, well, we have got more coming up here on the Mountain Morning Show. Chelsea's going to be eating more chocolate. I don't blame her. We've had a lot of good chocolate over the last couple of days. That's coming up as